Welcome to Hypnos Cosmos. Tonight, let the universe carry you gently into sleep. Take a moment, just for yourself, and let the day begin to fall away. There is nothing you need to do now. Know where you need to be. For the next little while, you can simply rest here, in the quiet, and let your mind drift wherever it wishes to go. So settle in. Find the most comfortable position you can. Let your shoulders soften. Let your hands grow heavy. And if your eyes feel like closing, let them close. You don't need to watch anything tonight. You only need to listen and breathe and slowly let go. Breathe in, gently, and breathe out, slowly. With every breath, you sink a little deeper into stillness. The world grows quieter around you. The noise of the day fades, like distant voices carried away on the wind, until all that remains is calm. Tonight, we are going to drift somewhere very far away. Far beyond this room. Far beyond the city lights and the clouds and the pale glow of the moon. Tonight, we are going to travel, slowly and softly, all the way to the edge of everything, to the very edge of the universe. But there is no hurry. We will take our time. We have all the time in the world. Imagine, for a moment, that you are lying somewhere open and safe, beneath a clear night sky. Perhaps a quiet field, far from any town. The grass is cool beneath you. The air is still. And above you stretches the night, vast, and dark, and scattered with countless points of light. At first, you only notice a few of the brightest stars. But as your eyes adjust to the darkness, more begin to appear. And then more. And more still. Until the whole sky seems to be filled with them, a soft dust of light spilling from one horizon to the other. Some of these stars are close, in the gentle way the universe measures closeness. Others are so far away that the light touching your eyes tonight began its journey long, long ago. You are not only looking out into space. You are looking back into time. And as you lie there, gazing up into that endless dark, a quiet question begins to form. The same question that has settled into the minds of dreamers for thousands of years, on nights just like this one. How far does it go? If you could rise from where you lie, and float gently upward, past the clouds, past the moon, past the planets and the stars, if you could keep drifting, on, through the dark between the worlds, where would you finally arrive? Would you ever reach the end? Is there an edge somewhere out there, a final shore where the universe simply stops? It is a soft and enormous question. The kind of question that feels too large to hold, and yet somehow comforting to carry, here in the quiet of the night. And tonight, you don't need to answer it. You only need to wonder. To let your mind wander out among the stars, slowly, without effort, the way a small boat drifts on calm water. So let yourself drift now. Let the field fall away beneath you. Feel yourself growing lighter, softer, as though gravity has loosened its hold and is letting you go, ever so gently, into the dark. There is nothing to fear out here. The dark is not empty. It is full of light, full of wonder, full of quiet places no one has ever seen. And you are simply a visitor, passing through, carried on nothing but your own slow breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. And with each breath, you float a little higher. The ground is far below you now. The sky is no longer above you. It is all around you, on every side, soft and endless and still. There is no sound out here. No rush. No wait. Only the gentle drift of stars passing by, like distant lanterns in a great, calm sea of night. And so our journey begins. Not with effort, but with ease. Not with noise, but with silence. We will move slowly, you and I, outward and outward, toward the distant question waiting at the edge of all things. But for now, there is no need to go anywhere at all. For now, just rest. Just breathe. Just let yourself float here among the first soft stars, and feel how peaceful it is to be so small, beneath something so vast. The universe is patient. It has waited billions of years. It can wait a little longer, while you let go of the day, and sink slowly, gently, into the quiet, and into the deep, soft dark between the stars. And as you float there, among those first soft points of light, let your eyes wander across the sky. At first, the stars seem scattered at random, like grains of silver sand thrown across black velvet. But the longer you look, the more gentle patterns appear. And if the night is dark enough, you may notice a pale band stretching across the heavens, soft as smoke. That faint glow is not a cloud. It is the combined light of billions of distant stars, blurred together by sheer distance. It is the Milky Way, our galaxy, seen from the inside. Because that is where you are. Not looking at the galaxy from far away, but living within it, drifting along one of its great spiral arms. If you could pull back and see it whole, you would find a vast, slowly turning disk of stars, roughly 100,000 light-years across. Light itself, the fastest thing in existence, moving 300,000 kilometers every second, would still need 100,000 years just to cross from one side to the other. And within that disk drift somewhere between 100 and 400 billion stars. So many that no one will ever name them all. So many that if you counted one every second, the counting would outlast not just this night, but every night you will ever know. Let those numbers wash over you gently. You do not need to hold them. Just feel how quietly enormous it all is, and how softly you rest within it. Now let your gaze settle on a single star. Any one will do. The light landing in your eyes from that star did not arrive instantly. It crossed an almost unimaginable distance to reach you. Astronomers measure these distances in light years, the distance light travels in a single year, nearly 10 trillion kilometers. The nearest star beyond our own Sun, a quiet ember called Proxima Centauri, lies more than 4 light-years away. Which means the light you might see from it tonight left over 4 years ago, and has been traveling toward you, patiently, ever since. Other stars are far more distant still. Hundreds of light-years. Thousands. The soft light of some of the stars in the sky tonight began its journey before your grandparents were born, before your country had its name, drifting across the dark for centuries, only to end its long voyage here, in the stillness of your eyes. So in a way, you are not seeing these stars as they are now. You are seeing them as they were. The night sky is not a picture of the present. It is a record of the past, layer upon layer of ancient light, all arriving together in this single, peaceful moment. And here is a gentle, strange truth to carry with you into sleep. Some of the stars you can see may no longer exist at all. A few of the brightest, like the great red giant Betelgeuse, are old and swollen, nearing the end of their lives. One day each will fade, or collapse, or quietly burn away. And yet their final light will keep traveling long after they are gone, still glowing in our skies, like a memory that outlives the one who made it. If you look very carefully, far from the band of the Milky Way, you might find one faint, hazy smudge of light, no brighter than a breath on cold glass. That small blur is the Andromeda Galaxy. It is the most distant thing the human eye can see without any help at all. And it lies 2.5 million light-years away. Think of that, softly. The light touching your eyes from Andromeda tonight left that galaxy 2.5 million years ago, long before there were cities, or writing, or even people quite like us. It has been crossing the emptiness all that time, and it finishes its journey now, gently, while you lie here and breathe. You do not have to understand it all. You only have to rest beneath it and let it hold you. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. And feel how small the worries of the day become, under a sky this old, this wide, this patient. For everything you can see up there is only the beginning. Only the light bright enough, and close enough, to reach you. Beyond it lie fainter stars, darker distances, and places so far away that their light has never once touched this world. That is where we are drifting, slowly, you and I, out past the familiar stars, toward the very edges of what can be known. But gently, always gently. There is no rush tonight. For now, simply rest beneath the Milky Way, and let your breathing grow slower, and softer, and deeper, as we prepare to drift a little further into the dark. Of all the lights in the night sky, there is one that has watched over us more closely than any other. Not a star, not a planet, but our own quiet companion. The Moon. The Moon has drifted beside the Earth for billions of years, our single faithful satellite, circling us slowly through the dark. It is far closer than anything else in the heavens, and yet it is still a great distance away. So far that you could line up every other planet in the solar system, side by side, in the gap between the Earth and the Moon, and they would only just fit. We believe the Moon was born in violence, long ago, though its life since has been nothing but calm. In the early days of the solar system, it is thought that a young world, about the size of Mars, struck the newborn Earth a glancing blow. From the molten wreckage flung into orbit, slowly, over time, the Moon gathered itself together, and has circled us gently ever since. Out of one ancient collision came the soft companion that lights our nights. And the Moon does far more than simply shine. Its quiet gravity reaches across the gap between us and gently pulls upon the seas, raising the slow rise and fall of the tides, breathing the ocean softly in and out, twice each day, all around the world. The rhythm of the sea is, in truth, the rhythm of the Moon. The Moon also steadies us. As the Earth turns, it wobbles ever so slightly, like a spinning top. But the steady presence of the Moon holds that wobble gently in check, keeping our seasons calm and regular across the ages. Without the Moon, our climate might lurch and tumble. With it, the years pass smoothly, gently, one after another. Our companion keeps us calm. Here is a tender thing to know. The same side of the Moon always faces us. As it circles the Earth, it turns at just the right pace to keep one face forever toward us, and one face forever hidden. For all of human history, every person who has ever lived has seen only that one familiar face, gazing softly down. The far side was a mystery until we finally sent travelers around to glimpse it, not so very long ago. And the Moon is slowly, gently leaving us. With each passing year, it drifts a tiny bit farther away, a few centimeters, about the rate that fingernails grow. So slowly that no one will ever feel it. But far in the future, the Moon will hang a little smaller in the sky than it does tonight. The Moon you see now is closer than the Moon your distant descendants will see. A slow and gentle farewell, unfolding across millions of years. But tonight, it is still here. Still close. Still glowing softly above the sleeping world, as it has through every night of human history. The same Moon that shone on the very first people, who looked up and wondered, just as you might wonder now. The same Moon that has watched over every life, every love, every quiet evening, that has ever been. There is something deeply comforting in that constancy. Whatever happens below, the moon rises and sets and rises again. Faithful. Patient. Gently lighting the dark, asking nothing, simply keeping its quiet watch over the world as it sleeps. So let the moon watch over you now. Let its soft light fall gently across your mind. And as the tides breathe slowly in and out, far away on darkened shores, let your own breath grow slow and soft as well, rising and falling, gentle as the sea, carrying you down, at last, toward sleep. We have wandered far among distant stars. But there is one star we know far better than all the rest, because it has warmed us every day of our lives. Our own Sunday. Let us drift toward it now, gently, and see it not as a flat yellow disk, but as the vast and living thing it truly is. The sun is a star, like all the others scattered across the night. It only looks different because it is so close. If you could place our sun beside most of the stars you see at night, it would seem ordinary, a quiet, middle-sized star, neither the largest nor the brightest. But it is ours, and it is enormous. So large that more than 1 million Earths could fit inside it. So heavy that it holds every planet, including ours, in its gentle, invisible grip, swinging us slowly around it through the dark. The sun is not solid, and not liquid. It is a vast, glowing sphere of plasma, of gas so hot it glows, churning and flowing in slow, immense currents. Its surface seethes with soft motion, with great rising cells of heat, each one larger than a country, bubbling up, cooling, and sinking back down, over and over, in a slow and silent dance. And deep in its core, the sun is quietly performing the oldest magic in the universe. There, under unimaginable pressure and heat, it presses the smallest atoms together, fusing them into slightly larger ones, and in doing so, releases light. Every second, the sun turns a portion of itself into pure energy, and pours it outward into space. The warmth on your skin on a summer day, the light that lets you read these words, all of it was made in the heart of the sun, from the sun slowly, gently, turning itself into light. Here is something wonderful to rest upon. The light born in the sun's core does not escape quickly. It takes its time. The energy made deep inside bounces and scatters its way slowly outward through the dense layers above, and that journey, from the core to the surface, can take tens of thousands of years. Only then does the light finally fly free, and cross the gulf to Earth in just 8 minutes. So the sunlight that warms us is, in a quiet way, ancient. Born long ago, deep in the sun, and only now arriving, soft and golden, on our small blue world. The sun also breathes outward. A constant, gentle stream of tiny particles flows from it in every direction, a soft solar wind, drifting out past all the planets, far into space. It is this quiet wind that finally fades at the edge of the solar system, marking the boundary of the sun's great realm. And all of this, the churning surface, the ancient light, the gentle wind, has been happening, steadily and faithfully, for nearly 5 billion years. Through every sunrise that has ever been. Through every life, and every quiet evening. The sun has simply gone on shining, calm and constant, asking nothing, giving everything, the patient heart of our small corner of the cosmos. So as you rest tonight, on the dark side of the turning earth, the sun has not gone anywhere. It is still there, still shining, still pouring out its ancient golden light, warming the far side of the world, and waiting, patiently, to rise again. There is a deep comfort in that. The sun always returns. But for now, let it set softly in your mind. Let the warmth fade gently into cool and restful dark. The sun will rise again tomorrow, as it always has. And tonight, you can simply let go, and drift, and sleep. We spoke of the soft wind that streams endlessly from the sun. Let us follow it now, gently, all the way to the earth, and watch what happens when it arrives. For it gives us one of the most beautiful sights in all of nature. The auroras. The northern and southern lights. The solar wind is a constant, invisible stream of tiny charged particles, flowing out from the sun in every direction, washing across the whole solar system. Some of it, always, is drifting toward the Earth. And these particles carry energy enough that, were they to reach the surface unchecked, they would slowly harm the gentle web of life below. But the Earth has a quiet guardian. Deep within our planet, the slow churning of its molten iron core creates a vast and invisible magnetic field, reaching far out into space, wrapping the whole world in a soft and unseen shield. As the solar wind arrives, this shield gently turns most of it aside, guiding the particles harmlessly around the planet, like a stone in a stream parting the flowing water. We never see it. We never feel it. But every moment of every day, that quiet field is protecting us, holding the harsher edge of the sun softly at bay. Yet the shield is not closed everywhere. Near the north and south poles, the magnetic field dips down toward the Earth, and there, some of the solar particles are able to follow it gently inward, spiraling down into the upper air. And when they meet the thin gases high in our atmosphere, something lovely happens. The gases begin to glow. This is the aurora. Great curtains and ribbons of soft light shimmering across the polar skies. Gentle greens, and deep violets, and soft rose reds, drifting and folding slowly overhead, like slow silent flames, or like vast glowing veils stirred by an unfelt wind. They can fill the whole sky, rippling and shifting in perfect silence, for hours at a time, far above the sleeping, snow-covered world. It is, in truth, a meeting. The light of the aurora is the gentle touch of the sun, reaching across 90 million miles of space, meeting the soft shield of the Earth, and turning, in that meeting, into color. A quiet conversation between our star and our world, written in slow light across the night sky. And it is happening right now, even as you rest. Far away, over the frozen poles, the auroras are drifting and glowing in the dark, silent and unwashed, painting the night in slow ribbons of green and violet light. They have shimmered there for billions of years, long before anyone was there to see them, and they will shimmer on, gently, long after this night has passed. There is something deeply calming in this. That the Earth holds us so gently. That an invisible shield, born in the heart of our own world, wraps softly around us, turning aside the harshness of space, and turning it, at the poles, into quiet beauty. We are not exposed and alone in the cosmos. We are wrapped and held, and protected, by the quiet workings of our own gentle world. So let that soft protection settle over you now. You are held. You are shielded. Wrapped in the invisible care of the Earth, beneath a sky where even the wind of the sun becomes slow and silent light. Rest within that gentle shelter, and let the slow auroras drift behind your eyes, green and violet and soft, as you sink deeper, and safer, into sleep. Let us drift now to the next world out from the sun beyond our own. A small, cold, quiet place, glowing faintly red in the night sky. Mars. Mars is a desert world, smaller than the Earth, wrapped in a thin and gentle air far too faint to breathe. Its whole surface is colored a soft rust red, the color of iron that has slowly weathered over billions of years, until the entire planet took on the hue of a fading autumn evening. From the rocks to the dust to the pale pink sky, Mars is a world painted in quiet shades of red and gold. It is a still and silent place. There are no oceans there now, no forests, no sound but the soft sigh of a thin wind moving fine red dust across endless empty plains. The temperature drops far below freezing through the long, cold nights. And yet, for all its stillness, Mars is a world of quiet wonders. Upon it stands the largest volcano in all the solar system, a vast and gentle mountain called Olympus Mons, nearly 3 times taller than the highest peak on Earth, so wide that its base would cover an entire country. It has not erupted in a very long time. It simply rests now, an enormous, silent slope rising softly into the thin pink sky. But the most tender thing about Mars is its past. For when we look closely at its surface, we find the marks of water. Dry riverbeds, winding gently across the desert. The shorelines of ancient lakes. The smooth stones of long-vanished streams. Billions of years ago, Mars was a warmer, wetter world, with rivers that flowed, and lakes that gathered, and perhaps even a great ocean across its northern plains. A world that might once have been gentle, and blue, and alive. And then, slowly, across ages, Mars grew cold. Its thin air drifted away into space, its waters froze or vanished, and the rivers fell silent. Now only the quiet traces remain, the soft fingerprints of water, written into the red rock, waiting patiently across the ages. And so we have sent gentle travelers there, small robotic explorers, to drift slowly across those ancient riverbeds and wonder. Right now, even as you rest, a few quiet machines are rolling softly across the surface of Mars, alone beneath that pink and dusty sky, gathering stones and taking pictures, asking the patient question. Was there ever life here, long ago, when the waters flowed? We do not yet know. Perhaps, in some warm and distant past, tiny living things once stirred in the Martian seas. Or perhaps Mars was always quiet, a beautiful and empty world. Either way, there is something deeply peaceful about that small red planet, resting in the dark, holding its ancient secrets gently, in no hurry to give them up. Picture it now, softly. A quiet red desert under a pale pink sky. A thin wind drifting fine dust across endless empty plains. Ancient rivers, long dry, winding silently through the rust-colored land. And a small machine, far from home, rolling slowly through the stillness, beneath a sky where the Earth itself is only a tiny blue star, low on the horizon at dusk. It is calm there. Endlessly, perfectly calm. And you can let some of that calm drift into you now. The quiet red world turns slowly in the dark, asking nothing, holding its ancient peace. And you turn gently with it, sinking softer and deeper towards sleep. Let us drift outward now, far past Mars, to the largest planet in all our solar system. A vast and gentle giant, banded in soft cream and gold. Jupiter. Jupiter is enormous beyond easy imagining. It is so large that all the other planets in the solar system, gathered together, would still not equal its mass. You could pour more than 1,000 Earths inside it. It is a world so great that it almost became a star itself, though it never quite grew large enough to light its own fire. And so it remains a planet, the king of planets, turning slowly and quietly in the outer dark. Jupiter is not a world of solid ground. It is a giant ball of gas and liquid, with no surface to stand upon, only deeper and deeper layers of cloud, fading down into a hot and crushing dark. Its outer face is wrapped in long, soft bands of cloud, pale creams and gentle browns and quiet golds, drifting in great horizontal stripes around the planet, stirred by winds that have blown for longer than anyone can say. And upon that banded face turns its most famous feature. A vast, slow storm, larger than the entire Earth, called the Great Red Spot. It is a single immense swirl of cloud, turning gently for century after century. People have watched it through their telescopes for hundreds of years, and still it turns, a calm and enormous eye gazing softly out from the face of the giant. A storm so large our whole world could vanish within it, and yet, from far away, it drifts as gently as a slow whirlpool in a quiet stream. Around Jupiter circle dozens upon dozens of moons, a whole small system of worlds, swinging slowly around their giant. Some are tiny captured rocks, but a few are great worlds in their own right, larger even than our own moon, turning faithfully around their enormous parent through the dark. And Jupiter does something quietly kind for the rest of us. Its immense gravity reaches far out into the solar system, gently catching and turning aside many of the comets and stray rocks that drift in from the cold outer dark. Again and again, across the ages, Jupiter has quietly shielded the inner worlds, drawing danger gently toward itself, like a great calm guardian standing watch at the edge of the warm and lighted worlds. In its quiet way, the giant has helped keep our own small world safe. There is something deeply peaceful about Jupiter, for all its vastness. It does not rush. It does not rage, not really. It simply turns, slow and immense, its soft bands drifting, its great storm gently swirling, century after century, in the outer quiet. An enormous, patient presence, far out in the dark, keeping its slow and ancient watch. So picture it now, softly. The great banded giant, cream and gold, turning slowly in the deep. Its calm red storm drifting gently round and round. Its many moons circling faithfully through the dark. All of it moving without hurry, without effort, in the vast and gentle silence of the outer solar system. And let that slowness settle into you. There is no rush out here. Only the great calm turning of an ancient giant, and you, drifting gently alongside it, sinking softer and deeper toward sleep. Drift on now, even farther from the sun, to perhaps the most beautiful world in all the solar system. A pale golden giant, wrapped in the most delicate of ornaments. Saturn, and its rings. Saturn is a great gas giant, second in size only to Jupiter, glowing a soft and gentle gold. Like Jupiter, it has no solid surface, only deep and endless layers of cloud. It is so large that hundreds of Earths could fit within it. And yet, strangely, it is so light for its size, so puffed up with gas, that if you could find an ocean vast enough, Saturn would float upon the water, the only planet in the solar system that could. But it is not Saturn itself that takes the breath away. It is the rings. Spreading out around the planet's middle is a vast and shimmering disk of rings, gleaming softly in the distant sunlight, the most graceful sight in all the cosmos. They stretch far out into space, wide enough to reach most of the way from the Earth to the Moon. And yet they are astonishingly thin. For all their enormous width, the rings are often only tens of meters thick. If you shrank Saturn to the size of a house, its rings would be far thinner than a sheet of paper. And the rings are not solid. They are made of countless billions of pieces of ice and rock, drifting together in orbit around the planet. Some are tiny grains, like glittering dust. Some are the size of pebbles, or stones, or houses, or mountains. All of them, uncountable, circling Saturn in perfect silence, catching the faint sunlight, gleaming together into those soft and graceful bands. We do not fully know how the rings came to be. Perhaps a moon, or a wandering comet, drifted too close, long ago, and was gently pulled apart by Saturn's gravity, scattered into a great glittering ring. And here is a tender thought. The rings may not last forever. Slowly, gently, they are drifting down, raining softly onto Saturn across the ages. in the long span of time, they may one day fade away. Which means we are alive at just the right moment to see them, this brief and beautiful adornment, gleaming around the golden giant. A fleeting jewel in the long life of the solar system. And at Saturn's far north pole, there is one more quiet marvel. The clouds there have settled, somehow, into the shape of a great six-sided figure, a vast and perfect hexagon, turning slowly around the pole. A calm and orderly pattern, drawn by the gentle physics of flowing gas, larger than the whole of the Earth, turning patiently at the top of the world. Picture it all now, softly. The pale golden giant, glowing in the distant dark. The vast, shimmering rings, impossibly wide and impossibly thin, made of countless gleaming pieces of ice, circling in perfect silence. The whole great structure turning slowly, gracefully, in the deep and gentle quiet of the outer solar system. There is such peace in that image. So much beauty, drifting silently in the dark, with no one to see it, asking nothing at all. Just turning, gently, as it has for ages, catching the faint and distant light. So let that beauty drift gently behind your eyes. The golden world, the shimmering rings, turning slowly in the silent dark. And let yourself turn softly with them, sinking deeper and quieter towards sleep. Among the many moons that circle the great outer giants, a few hold one of the gentlest secrets in all the solar system. For beneath their frozen shells, hidden far from any sunlight, there may lie vast and quiet oceans of liquid water. Drift first to a moon of Jupiter, a smooth and icy world called Europa. From the outside, it seems a frozen, lifeless place, wrapped in a thick crust of ice, marked with soft cracks and gentle lines. But beneath that frozen shell, kept warm by the slow flexing of Jupiter's gravity, there is thought to be a deep, dark ocean of liquid water. And that hidden sea may hold more water than all the oceans of the Earth combined. An entire ocean, sealed beneath the ice, drifting silently through the cold, lit by no sun at all. Drift now to a small moon of Saturn, named Enceladus. It too holds a hidden ocean beneath its icy surface. And this little world does something wonderful. From great cracks near its south pole, it gently sprays tall fountains of water out into space, soft geysers rising silently from the hidden sea below, freezing into glittering crystals of ice that drift slowly away among the stars. A tiny world, quietly breathing its ocean out into the dark. And drift, finally, to Titan, the largest moon of Saturn, wrapped in a thick and hazy orange sky. Titan is so cold that water there is frozen hard as rock. But it is not dry. Upon its surface, in the deep cold, there flow rivers and gather lakes and seas, not of water, but of liquid methane, falling as gentle rain from the orange clouds, carving soft valleys, pooling into quiet, mirror-still lakes beneath the haze. A world with weather, and shorelines, and a slow, strange rain, all of it unimaginably cold, all of it deeply calm. And here is the quiet question these hidden worlds invite us to ask. In those dark and sealed-off oceans, far from any sun, kept gently warm from within, could there be life? We do not know. No eye has ever seen beneath those frozen shells. But everywhere on Earth that we find liquid water, even in the darkest, coldest depths of our own oceans, we find life of some kind, quietly thriving. And so we wonder, softly, whether somewhere out there, in a dark sea beneath the ice, something small might be drifting, alive, in waters no light has ever touched. There is something deeply peaceful in imagining those hidden seas. Vast, dark, silent oceans, sealed beneath ice, far from any sun, drifting through the cold for billions of years. Untroubled. Undisturbed. Holding their gentle secrets in the deep, asking nothing, simply waiting in the quiet dark. So picture them now, as you drift towards sleep. A still, dark ocean beneath a shell of ice, somewhere far out in the cold. No waves. No wind. No light. Only deep, calm water, resting in perfect silence, holding its quiet mysteries, turning slowly with its little frozen world through the endless dark. And let yourself sink gently into that same deep stillness. Into the calm, dark water of sleep. Quiet. Sealed away from the noise of the day. Holding nothing, needing nothing. Just resting, softly, in the deep. Far out in the cold edges of the solar system, in that vast and frozen shell we spoke of long ago, there drift countless quiet travelers of ice. And every now and then, one of them begins a long, slow journey inward, toward the sun. These are the comets. A comet is, at heart, a small and ancient thing. A gentle mountain of ice and dust, often just a few kilometers across, drifting in the deep cold far beyond the planets. Out there, it is dark and still and frozen solid, and it may rest in that quiet for thousands, even millions of years, turning slowly in the outer dark, undisturbed. But sometimes, a gentle nudge sets one of them falling, slowly, toward the distant sun. And as it drifts inward, across years and years, it begins, ever so gradually, to warm. The frozen ice, untouched for ages, begins to soften and then to turn directly into gas, lifting off the comet in a soft and growing cloud. And the faint pressure of sunlight and the gentle solar wind push that cloud gently outward until the comet trails behind it a long, glowing tail, streaming softly across the dark, always pointing away from the sun. This is the moment we see from Earth. A comet, low in the sky, with its pale, glowing tail stretched gently across the stars. For a few quiet weeks, it drifts there, soft and luminous, and then it rounds the sun and falls away again, back toward the cold, its tail slowly fading, until it vanishes once more into the deep. Some comets return on a gentle rhythm, swinging back toward the sun every few years, or every few decades, faithful visitors keeping their slow appointments across a human lifetime. Others fall inward only once in many thousands of years, blaze briefly in our skies, and then drift away on journeys so long they will not return until everyone alive today, and their distant descendants, are long forgotten. And here is the tender thing about them. Comets are among the oldest, most untouched things in the solar system. That ancient ice has been drifting, frozen and unchanged, since the very birth of the sun and planets, billions of years ago. When you see a comet, you are seeing a piece of the original cloud from which everything was made, preserved perfectly in the deep cold, paying a brief and quiet visit to the warmth, before drifting back out into the long dark. There is something gently moving in their patience. A comet asks for nothing. It simply drifts, for ages uncounted, through the frozen dark. And then, for a brief and luminous moment, it sweeps softly through the light, trailing its quiet glow across the heavens, before returning, unhurried, to the deep, to drift again for another 1,000 years. So picture one now, softly. A small mountain of ancient ice, falling slowly through the dark, trailing a long and gentle tail of pale light across the silent stars. Drifting in, and around, and softly away again, on a journey measured not in days, but in ages. And let that slow, patient drifting carry you too. There is no hurry. Only the long, gentle journey through the quiet dark, the soft glow trailing behind, and the deep and peaceful rest waiting at the end. Drift on now, softly, towards sleep. We have drifted to the edges of galaxies, and the edge of the universe itself. But let us come home now, gently, and find the quiet edge of our own small corner of space. For even our own solar system is far larger and far stranger than the handful of bright planets we know. Begin with the planets themselves, circling the Sun in the warm and lighted center. Mercury, Venus, our own Earth, then Mars, and the great giants, Jupiter and Saturn, Uranus and Neptune, drifting in slow and stately circles through the dark. But beyond Neptune, the farthest planet, the solar system does not simply end. It softens and spreads into something vast and quiet. Past Neptune lies a wide, cold ring of icy worlds, called the Kuiper Belt. Out there drifts distant Pluto, and many other small frozen worlds, turning slowly in the deep cold, so far from the Sun that it shines as little more than a bright and distant star. Sunlight that reaches us in minutes takes hours to crawl all the way out there, to those dim and patient worlds. And still, the solar system does not end. Far beyond the Kuiper Belt, the gentle wind that streams from the Sun finally grows too faint to push back the darkness of interstellar space. That soft and invisible boundary, where the Sun's breath fades into the night, is the true edge of the Sun's realm. It was this quiet frontier that the Voyager spacecraft crossed, long after passing all the planets, drifting out into the space between the stars. But even that is not the final edge. For surrounding our entire solar system, far, far beyond the planets, there is thought to be a vast and gentle shell of ice. The Oort cloud. A great spherical mist of frozen worlds and sleeping comets, perhaps 1 trillion of them, drifting in the deepest cold, wrapped all the way around the Sun and everything that circles it. And this shell is almost unimaginably far away. Its outer edge may reach nearly a light-year from the Sun. So far that a comet drifting there takes millions of years to make a single slow circle. So far that it lies a meaningful part of the way to the very nearest star. The true edge of our home is not just beyond the planets. It is most of the way to the stars themselves. Let that gently change the shape of things in your mind. Our solar system is not the small, tidy place of the diagrams, with a few planets gathered close around the Sun. It is a vast and quiet sphere, light-years wide, mostly empty, mostly dark, with the warm and lighted planet resting like a tiny glowing heart at its very center. And we live there, in that small warm heart, wrapped in layer upon layer of gentle, frozen quiet, reaching almost all the way to the next star. There is something deeply comforting in that. Home is bigger than we knew. Softer, and wider, and more peaceful. A great calm bubble of space, with the Sun and the Earth held warmly at its center, and a vast quiet shell of ice drifting slowly all around, like a blanket of frozen worlds wrapped gently about our small bright home. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. Rest here, in the warm heart of it all, wrapped softly in the great quiet shell of home. Held gently. Safe in the center. Drifting deeper and deeper towards sleep. Let us turn now to our own star. The Sun. The quiet giver of all our days. For it, too, has a story that will one day end, far, far in the future. But before we begin, let this thought rest softly in your mind. Everything we are about to imagine lies billions of years away. Further from tonight than the first simple life on Earth lies in the past. There is nothing here to fear, and nothing close at hand. Only a slow and distant tale, gentle as a story told beside a fading fire. Right now, the Sun is in the calm middle of its life. For nearly 5 billion years it has burned steadily, turning hydrogen into helium in its core, pouring out the warm light that lets oceans flow and gardens grow. And for billions of years more, it will go on, much as it does now, rising and setting over a quiet world. But slowly, across ages almost beyond counting, the Sun is changing. Very gradually, it grows brighter and warmer, so slowly that no single lifetime could ever notice. And in the far distant future, in perhaps 5 billion years, the Sun will at last begin to run low on the hydrogen at its heart. When that day comes, the Sun will not simply fade. It will swell. Its outer layers will expand outward, vast and glowing, as it becomes a red giant, a huge and gentle crimson star, far larger than it is today. It will grow so large that it may reach out and engulf the closest planets, and the sky of any world that remains will be filled, edge to edge, with soft red light. Our own Earth, by then, will be a changed and quiet place. The warmth will have grown too great for oceans, or for the kind of life we know. But there is a strange peace in it. The Earth will not be destroyed in violence. It will simply grow still, and warm, and silent, returning gently to the calm it knew long before any life ever stirred upon it. And then, when the red giant has spent the last of its fuel, the Sun will breathe out one final time. Its great glowing layers will drift away into space, expanding into a soft and shimmering shell of light, a cloud of gentle color spreading slowly outward among the stars. Beautiful. Quiet. Unhurried. At the very center, all that will remain of our Sun is a small, dense, glowing ember. A white dwarf, no larger than a small planet, holding the last warmth of a star that shone for more than 10 billion years. And across the long ages that follow, that ember will slowly cool, and dim, and fade, drifting through the dark, growing quieter and colder, until at last it becomes a cold and silent cinder, resting forever among the stars. It may sound like an ending. And it is. But it is also a return. The atoms that drift away from the dying Sun will not vanish. They will join the great clouds between the stars, the same kind of clouds from which new stars are born. And one day, far in the future, some of that scattered light and matter may gather again, and warm again, and shine again, as a new star, with new worlds, and perhaps new dreamers, resting beneath a new and gentle sky. So even the death of a star is not truly an end. It is a slow turning of the great wheel. A handing on of light, from one generation of stars to the next, across spans of time so vast they soften every sorrow into peace. But all of that is unimaginably far away. Tonight, the Sun is warm and steady, exactly as it has always been. And you are here, safe and held, beneath a quiet sky that will go on shining, gently, for billions of years to come. Breathe in, softly, and breathe out. There is nothing to fear in the far future. Only the slow, calm turning of the stars, and this quiet moment, holding you gently as you drift deeper toward sleep. In all this vastness, it is easy to feel that the dark between the stars is far beyond our reach. And yet, even now, two small and gentle travelers from our own world are drifting out into it. Let us follow them softly for a while. Nearly 50 years ago, we launched two simple spacecraft, called Voyager. They were sent to visit the great outer planets, to drift past Jupiter and Saturn and the cold worlds beyond, and to send home pictures of places no one had ever seen up close. They did all that we asked, and more. And then, their task complete, they simply kept going, outward, into the dark. They are still going now. After almost half a century of silent travel, both Voyagers have drifted beyond the edge of the Sun's influence, out past all the planets, into true interstellar space. They are the farthest things human hands have ever made, so distant now that their faint signals, traveling at the speed of light, take many hours just to reach us. And one day soon, they will fall silent. Their power is gently fading, and before long they will no longer be able to whisper back to us across the dark. But they will not stop. they will keep drifting, cold and quiet, for billions of years, wandering slowly among the stars long after they have gone silent, long after everyone who built them is gone. And each of them carries something tender. A small golden record, fixed to its side. Upon it are sounds and images from Earth. The greeting of voices in many languages. The laughter of a child. The song of birds and whales. The sound of rain and wind and a human heartbeat. Music gathered from across the world. A quiet portrait of one small blue planet, sent drifting into the cosmos, just in case, one distant day, someone, somewhere, should ever find it. There is something deeply moving in this. Two tiny messengers, carrying the gentle voice of our world, drifting outward into an ocean so vast they may travel for billions of years without ever coming near another star. They ask for nothing. They expect no reply. They simply carry their soft message onward, patiently, into the endless dark, a quiet act of hope from a small and dreaming world. And so, even as you rest here tonight, those two faithful travelers are still out there, drifting silently among the stars, carrying our music and our voices gently into the night. They will outlast our cities. They will outlast our names. Perhaps they will outlast the earth itself, still wandering, still carrying that small golden whisper of who we were, long after all of it has faded into the past. Let that thought rest softly over you. We are a small world, in a vast and quiet cosmos. But we have reached out, gently, into the dark. We have sent our voices and our songs drifting among the stars. And somewhere out there, right now, they are still traveling, patient and unhurried, into the deep. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. Far away, our quiet messengers drift on through the dark. And here, you drift too, softly and safely, deeper and deeper, towards sleep. For most of human history, we knew of only one family of worlds. Our own. The Sun and its handful of planets, drifting together through the dark. We could only wonder whether other stars might have worlds of their own, or whether ours were alone in all the cosmos. But in the last few decades, we have finally found the answer. And it is wonderful. The other stars do have planets. Almost all of them do. We call these distant worlds exoplanets, planets beyond our own Sun, and we have now found thousands upon thousands of them, circling other stars across the galaxy. And every discovery points to the same gentle truth. Planets are not rare. They are everywhere. When you look up at the night sky, then, you are not looking at lonely points of light. Almost every star you can see is circled by its own quiet family of worlds. Some with just a few. Some with many. Worlds upon worlds, drifting around nearly every star in the sky, so many that our galaxy alone must hold billions upon billions of them. More planets than there are people who have ever lived. More worlds than there are grains of sand on a long, quiet beach. And what astonishing worlds they are! We have found planets of every strange and beautiful kind. Giant worlds circling so close to their stars that their years last only days, and their skies blaze with heat. Worlds where it may rain molten glass, or where the surface is a deep and endless ocean, wrapped all the way around the planet with no land at all. Worlds drifting around two suns at once, where shadows fall in pairs and double sunsets light the sky. Each one real. Each one out there, right now, turning quietly in the dark. And among all those countless worlds, we have begun to find some that are gentle. Small, rocky worlds, about the size of our own Earth, circling their stars at just the right distance, neither too hot nor too cold, where water might pool softly on the surface, and where the conditions for life, as we understand it, might quietly exist. We cannot yet see them clearly. They are far too distant. But we know that they are there. Quiet, temperate worlds, scattered across the galaxy, turning gently beneath their own warm suns. Let that settle softly over you. Out there tonight, around countless distant stars, there are other worlds. Other sunrises, breaking over strange horizons. Other oceans, lapping on unknown shores. Other skies, filled with stars no human will ever name. A whole galaxy of quiet worlds, turning patiently in the dark, most of them never to be seen, simply existing, beautiful and unwitnessed, in the endless night. There is a deep comfort in this. We are not a single, lonely world in an empty cosmos. We are one among an uncountable multitude, one small warm world among billions, all of us drifting gently around our quiet stars. The universe is not empty. It is filled, softly, with worlds. So picture them now, as you drift toward sleep. Countless gentle worlds, scattered across the galaxy, each one turning slowly beneath its own sun, each one wrapped in its own quiet night. And your world, this world, turning softly among them, carrying you gently into the dark, just one more peaceful world, settling into sleep beneath the stars. If the galaxy holds billions of gentle worlds, then a soft and ancient question naturally drifts up on a quiet night like this. Are we alone? Or is someone, somewhere, out there too? It is one of the oldest questions we have ever asked. And by all our reasoning, the universe should be a welcoming place for life. There are so many stars, so many worlds, so many calm and temperate planets where water might gather and life might slowly begin. With numbers so vast, it seems almost natural to expect that life should have arisen many times over, scattered gently across the galaxy. And yet, when we listen, we hear only silence. For many years now, we have turned our great instruments toward the stars, gently listening for any whisper, any signal, any sign that someone else is out there. And so far, across all that listening, the cosmos has stayed quiet. No voices. No signals. Only the soft, natural hum of the universe itself, turning patiently in the dark. This gentle mystery even has a name. The Great Silence. No one knows why it is so quiet. And there are many soft possibilities to hold. Perhaps life is far rarer than the numbers suggest, and beginnings like ours are precious and uncommon. Perhaps life is common, but quiet, content on its own small worlds, never reaching out across the dark. Perhaps the distances are simply too vast, and the ages too long, for any two voices to ever meet. Or perhaps we are early. Perhaps, in a universe still so young, we are among the very first to wake, and look up, and wonder. We do not know which of these is true. And there is no need to decide tonight. It is a question to hold gently, turning it softly in the mind, like a smooth stone in the dark, without any need to answer it. But whatever the answer may be, there is something quietly wonderful in simply asking. For here, on this one small world, the universe has done something remarkable. It has gathered a little stardust together and given it the power to wonder about itself. To look up at the silent stars and ask if anyone is there. Whether or not we ever hear a reply, the asking itself is a kind of marvel. The cosmos, through us, gazing softly at the cosmos, and wondering. And if we truly are alone, that is not a sad thing, but a tender one. It would mean that this small blue world, and the gentle life upon it, is something rare and precious beyond measure. A single quiet candle, lit in a vast dark room. And you, resting here tonight, would be part of something the universe may have made only once. And if we are not alone, then somewhere out there, beneath some distant and unknown sky, another quiet mind may be resting too, gazing up at their own strange stars, wondering the very same gentle wonder. Either way, you are part of something beautiful. A universe that has learned, at least here, at least once, how to look upon itself with quiet awe. So let the question rest now, soft and unanswered. Whether the cosmos is full of voices or holds only ours, this night is calm, and this world is gentle, and you are here, awake just long enough to have wondered, before drifting softly down into sleep. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. Let the great silence settle over you, not empty, but peaceful. The quiet of a vast and patient universe, holding you gently, as you let go, and drift, into the deep. Out in the great dark between the stars, there drift some of the loneliest and most peaceful objects in all the cosmos. Worlds without a sun. Planets that wander, untethered, through the endless night. We call them rogue planets. Most planets are born circling a star, held gently in its warm embrace as the Earth circles our Sun. But sometimes, in the slow dance of a young solar system, a planet is nudged loose. A near pass with another world, a gentle tug of gravity, and the planet drifts outward, away from its star, until at last it slips free entirely, and begins to fall, slowly and silently, into the dark between the suns. And there it stays. Wandering. Alone. With no sunrise, and no sunset, and no star to light its skies. Just a single, quiet world, drifting through the vast emptiness, in a darkness almost beyond imagining. It might sound like a sad fate, but there is a strange serenity to it as well. These wandering worlds are not falling, or in danger. They are simply adrift, moving gently through space, in perfect, undisturbed silence. No seasons. No years. No passing of bright days. Only the long, calm dark, and the slow, patient drift among the distant stars. And astronomers now believe there may be a great many of them. Perhaps billions of rogue planets, wandering through our galaxy alone, drifting silently between the stars. There may be more of these dark, starless worlds than there are stars themselves. A vast, hidden population of quiet travelers, moving softly through the night, unseen and undisturbed. Some of them may even carry oceans, hidden deep beneath shells of ice, kept gently warm by the slow heat within their own cores. Dark, silent seas, locked in eternal night, far from any sun, drifting alone through the dark for billions of years. Quiet places no eye will ever see. There is a deep peace in imagining them. All those silent worlds, asking nothing, needing nothing, simply drifting through the calm of space, wrapped in endless gentle darkness. They are not lonely in the way we might fear. They are at rest in the deepest way a world can be. And perhaps, in a small way, there is something of that peace in you tonight. To drift quietly through the dark, untroubled, unhurried, needing nothing, simply resting in the soft and endless calm. Like a quiet world, far from any sun, wrapped gently in the night, drifting slowly through the deep. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. Let yourself become like one of those wandering worlds, calm and silent, drifting gently through the dark, with nowhere to be and nothing to do. Only the soft and endless night, holding you, as you drift deeper still, toward sleep. Before we drift onward, let us pause a moment, and feel just how much space there is in space. When you look up at the stars, they seem to gather close together, like a crowd of distant candles. But that nearness is an illusion, born only of how far away they are. In truth, the stars are almost unimaginably far apart, separated by oceans of empty, silent dark. Let us try to feel it gently. Imagine our sun shrunk down to the size of a single grain of sand, held softly between your fingers. On that tiny scale, the very nearest star would be another grain of sand, resting kilometers away. And between those two grains, across all those kilometers, there would be almost nothing at all. No light. No sound. Just cold, quiet emptiness, stretching on and on. That is what space is, mostly. Not stars, and not planets, but the vast gentle nothing in between. If you could travel from our sun toward the nearest star, moving as fast as our quickest spacecraft, the journey would take you not years, but tens of thousands of years. A voyage longer than all of human history, spent crossing a single gap between two neighboring suns. And our galaxy is filled with hundreds of billions of those suns, each one separated from the next by distances just as wide. The Milky Way is not a crowded place. It is mostly emptiness, sprinkled very thinly with light. A few grains of glowing sand, scattered across a darkness almost beyond measure. There is something peaceful in this, rather than lonely. All that quiet space is calm, and undisturbed, and patient. It asks nothing. It rushes nowhere. It simply rests between the stars, as it has for billions of years. And the emptiness goes far deeper than the space between stars. Even the matter we can touch is mostly empty within itself. Every atom in your body is almost entirely hollow, a tiny center of substance surrounded by vast, still space. If you could remove all that emptiness from within the atoms of every person on Earth, all the solid matter that remained would be smaller than a grain of rice. So the emptiness is not only out there, in the dark between the stars. It is within you, too. You are made of the same quiet space as the cosmos. Mostly stillness. Mostly gentle nothing, held together by soft and invisible forces. Let that thought settle over you like a slow tide. The universe is not crowded or loud. It is spacious and silent and calm, from the widest gulfs between galaxies down to the smallest spaces within your own breathing body. Emptiness everywhere, holding everything gently apart, giving each small point of light the room to simply be. And in all that vast and tender space, you are a rare and quiet warmth. A small gathering of starlit matter resting here, awake just long enough to notice how beautifully empty and how beautifully still the universe truly is. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out into the spaciousness. Feel the calm of all that quiet room around you and within you. There is no crowding here. No pressure. Only soft and open space, stretching gently in every direction, giving you all the room in the world to rest, and to let go, and to drift a little deeper into the dark. Let us drift now toward the stars themselves, and the quiet story of how they live, and how they die. For even the stars do not last forever. They too are born, and shine for a while, and gently fade. A star begins in a cloud. Vast, cold drifts of gas and dust, floating in the dark between the older stars, sometimes stretching across many light years. These soft clouds are called nebulae, and they are the quiet nurseries of the cosmos. For ages they simply drift, doing nothing at all. But here and there, very slowly, gravity begins to gather the gas together, pulling it gently inward, into a slow and tightening swirl. As the gas falls together, the heart of the cloud grows warmer, and denser, and warmer still. And then, at last, in its deep center, the temperature climbs so high that something wonderful awakens. The atoms begin to fuse together, releasing light. And in that moment, in the heart of the dark cloud, a new star quietly begins to shine. For most of its life, a star is a calm and steady thing. It glows by fusing the lightest element, hydrogen, into the next, helium, deep within its core. Our own sun has been doing this gently for nearly 5 billion years, and will continue for billions more. A slow, warm, patient burning, steady enough to keep a small blue world alive. But no star can burn forever. In time, its fuel begins to run low, and the long, quiet middle of its life draws toward its end. What happens next depends on the size of the star. A star like our sun ages softly. It swells outward into a vast, cool, glowing giant, then gently sheds its outer layers into space, like a long, slow exhale. What remains is a small, dense ember, called a white dwarf, that will cool and fade across unimaginable ages, growing dimmer and dimmer in the dark. But a giant star, many times larger than the sun, ends in something far grander. When such a star finally runs out of fuel, it collapses in an instant, and then rebounds in a vast and brilliant explosion. A supernova. For a few short weeks, that single dying star can shine brighter than all the billions of stars in its galaxy combined, a beacon of light pouring out across the cosmos. And here is the gentlest, most beautiful part of all. In their long lives, and in those final explosions, the stars create the very elements that everything else is made of. The carbon in every living thing. The oxygen in every breath. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the gold in a ring upon a hand. None of it existed at the beginning. All of it was forged inside the stars, and scattered across space when those stars died, drifting through the dark until it gathered again into new worlds and new life. So when you look up at the stars, you are not looking at strangers. You are looking at the place you came from. Every atom in your body was once inside a star. You are, quite literally, made of starlight, gathered up and given a little while to breathe, and wonder, and rest. Let that hold you softly now. The stars are born, and live, and die, and from their endings comes everything, including you. You are a small, warm piece of the universe's long and gentle story, resting here for a little while beneath the same stars that made you. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. Made of starlight. Held by the dark. Drifting quietly, deeper and deeper, into sleep. Scattered gently throughout the galaxy, drifting between the stars, there are some of the most beautiful objects the universe has ever made. Vast, glowing clouds of gas and dust, shining softly in the dark, in gentle colors almost too lovely to believe. We call them nebulae. A nebula is a cloud, but a cloud beyond all earthly scale. Where a cloud in our sky might be a few kilometers across, a nebula can stretch across many light years, so vast that light itself takes years to drift from one side to the other. Within these great clouds drift soft curtains and pillars and waves of gas, glowing gently in deep reds and soft blues and tender greens, lit from within by the stars being born inside them. For nebulae are, above all, the birthplaces of stars. We saw earlier how stars are born from gathering clouds. These glowing nebulae are those nurseries, seen in their full and gentle beauty. Deep within them, hidden in the soft folds of gas, new stars are quietly forming, and as they begin to shine, their light spills out and sets the surrounding cloud aglow, lighting the nebula from inside, like lanterns glowing softly within a vast and drifting mist. In some of the most beautiful nebulae, the gas gathers into great towering pillars, rising slowly through the cloud, light years tall, their soft edges lit golden and rose by the young stars nearby. They look almost like mountains, or like slow and silent flames, or like the gentle shapes we sometimes see in clouds at sunset, drifting in the deep, on a scale beyond all imagining. And nebulae are not only beginnings. They are also endings, gently folded into the same soft clouds. For when stars die, as we have seen, they return their gas to space, drifting outward in tender shells and clouds of color. And so the great nebulae are a meeting place of birth and return, where the gas of stars that died long ago gathers again, and slowly, gently, becomes the cradle of stars not yet born. The old becoming the new, softly, across the ages. This is the quiet cycle at the heart of the cosmos. Stars are born from the clouds. They shine for a while. They die, and return their gas to the clouds. And from those same clouds, new stars are born again. Around and around, slowly, gently, for billions of years. Nothing is truly lost. It only changes form, and drifts, and gathers, and shines again. And you are part of that cycle too. The very atoms within you drifted, once, in clouds like these, before they gathered into the sun, and the earth, and at last, into you. One day, in the unimaginable future, they may drift in such clouds again, glowing softly in some far nebula, waiting to become part of something new. You are not separate from the great soft clouds between the stars. You are a brief and lovely gathering of their gentle dust, glowing for a little while, here in the quiet. So picture them now, as you drift towards sleep. Vast, glowing clouds, soft as colored mist, drifting silently between the stars. Great gentle pillars, lit rose and gold, with new stars quietly waking deep within. The slow and endless cycle of light, turning softly in the dark, asking nothing, simply being beautiful. And let yourself drift among them, soft as a wisp of glowing cloud, gathering nothing, holding nothing, simply drifting, and glowing faintly, and sinking gently, at last, into sleep. There is another strange and quiet thing the dying stars can leave behind. Not a black hole, and not a fading ember, but something in between. A neutron star. When a great star ends in a supernova, its core collapses inward. If that core is heavy enough, it falls all the way into a black hole. But if it is a little lighter, the collapse stops at an extraordinary, impossible point, and what remains is a neutron star, one of the densest things in all the universe. Let yourself feel how strange it is. A neutron star holds more mass than our entire Sunday. And yet it is crushed into a sphere only about 20 kilometers across, small enough to rest within a single sleeping city. The matter inside is so tightly packed that a single spoonful of it would weigh as much as a mountain. As much as all the people on Earth, gathered into the bowl of a spoon. You do not need to truly picture that. No one really can. Just let the wonder of it drift past, soft and impossible, like a number from a dream. And these tiny, dense stars do something beautiful. As the great star collapses, it spins faster and faster, the way a dancer spins faster when they draw in their arms. So a newborn neutron star can turn dozens, even hundreds of times every second, a whole dead sun, spinning gently as a top, out in the silent dark. Many of them send out beams of light and energy from their poles, like the turning lamp of a lighthouse. And as the star spins, those beams sweep around and around through space. If one happens to pass across the Earth, we see a faint, steady pulse, flashing with perfect, patient rhythm, again and again, across the years. We call these spinning beacons pulsars. And they are among the most precise clocks in all the cosmos, keeping time more steadily than almost anything human hands have ever built. Imagine it softly. Scattered through the galaxy, the quiet corpses of ancient giant stars, spinning in the dark, sweeping their gentle beams across the emptiness, ticking out the slow rhythm of the universe. They have been turning since long before the Earth was young, and they will go on turning long after this night is forgotten, steady and faithful, like a soft heartbeat in the deep. There is something comforting in that rhythm. In a universe so vast and strange, here are these tiny, faithful lights, keeping perfect time, turning and turning with endless patience, asking nothing, simply marking the slow and gentle passing of the ages. So let your own breathing find a rhythm now, slow and soft and steady, like the turning of a distant pulsar. In and out. In and out. Faithful. Unhurried. Carrying you gently, beat by beat, deeper into the quiet and closer to sleep. Now let us drift toward one of the strangest and most beautiful things the universe has ever made. A place where even light grows still. A black hole. The name can sound frightening in the noise of daylight. But here, in the quiet, let us meet it gently, as the calm and curious mystery it truly is. A black hole begins, often, with the death of a great star. When a star far larger than our Sun runs out of fuel, it can no longer hold itself up against its own weight. And so it collapses, falling inward, all of its enormous mass crushing down into a space smaller and smaller, until it becomes almost unimaginably dense. So dense that its gravity grows beyond anything else in the cosmos. Around such an object, there forms an invisible boundary. A soft, silent line in space, called the event horizon. And it has one quiet, absolute rule. Anything that drifts past it can never return. Not a spacecraft. Not a stone. Not even light itself, the fastest thing there is. Light that crosses that line simply continues inward and never comes back out. And that is why a black hole is black. It is not a thing you can see. It is a place from which no light can reach you. It would be easy to imagine a black hole as a kind of monster, devouring everything around it. But the truth is far calmer. A black hole does not reach out and pull things in. It only holds, with great patience, whatever drifts too close. If our own Sun were somehow replaced by a black hole of the very same mass, the Earth would not be swallowed at all. It would simply keep circling, quietly, in the very same orbit, in a colder and darker sky. Most black holes drift through space slowly and peacefully, surrounded by that same vast emptiness as everything else. They are not hungry. They are not cruel. They are simply very deep, quiet wells in the fabric of space, where matter and light have gathered and gone still. And here is something gentle and astonishing. At the heart of nearly every great galaxy, including our own Milky Way, there rests a giant black hole, millions of times heavier than the Sun. Far away at the center of our galaxy, around that quiet giant, the stars turn slowly, like leaves drifting around a deep, dark pool. It has been there for billions of years, calm and patient, holding the great wheel of stars gently together. Strangest of all is what such gravity does to time. Near a black hole, where gravity grows immense, time itself begins to slow. If you could drift close to one and then return, you would find that for you, only moments had passed, while out here, among the distant stars, long ages had gone by. Time, it turns out, is not a fixed and steady river. It bends, and softens, and flows differently, depending on where you are. But you do not need to travel anywhere tonight. You can simply rest, here in your own gentle corner of space, where time flows slow and soft, and let the thought of those deep, dark wells drift quietly through your mind. Far away, in the great silence, the black holes turn slowly, holding their galaxies together. And here you turn gently too, carried softly on the slow wheel of the Milky Way, sinking deeper and calmer and further into sleep. Let us drift far back now, further than ever, until whole galaxies become no more than tiny points of light. For at the very largest scale, the universe reveals one last quiet pattern, and it is perhaps the most beautiful of all. The galaxies are not scattered evenly through space, like grains spread smoothly across a table. Instead, drawn together over billions of years by the gentle pull of gravity, they gather into vast and delicate shapes. Long glowing threads of galaxies, stretching across hundreds of millions of light-years. Great walls and sheets where thousands of galaxies cluster close. And where these threads cross and meet, immense cities of galaxies, the largest gatherings of matter anywhere in the cosmos. Astronomers call this the cosmic web. And the name is gentle and exact. For if you could pull back far enough to see the whole observable universe at once, it would look like a soft, glowing web. Shining filaments of galaxies, woven across the dark, meeting at bright knots, like dew gathered along the threads of a spider's web at dawn. And between those glowing threads lie the great voids. Enormous, rounded regions of near-perfect emptiness, hundreds of millions of light-years wide, where there are almost no galaxies at all. Vast, calm bubbles of darkness, so empty and so still that a traveler drifting through their centers might see no nearby galaxy in any direction. Only the distant glow of the web, far away on every side. Most of the universe, by volume, is these quiet voids. The bright web of galaxies, with all its stars and worlds and light, is only the thin, shining lacework that winds between the great dark spaces. The cosmos is mostly gentle emptiness, traced through with delicate threads of light. And you live upon one of those threads. Our Milky Way drifts within a small gathering of galaxies, which drifts within a larger cluster, which is itself just one small part of an immense flowing structure of thousands of galaxies, all gently streaming together through the dark. We are a single bright droplet, on a single shining strand, of a web that stretches across the entire visible universe. Let that settle softly, without strain. From the tiniest space within an atom, to the vast voids between the galaxies, the universe is built of the same quiet pattern. A little light, woven gently through a great deal of peaceful dark. There is a deep calm in seeing it whole. All the galaxies, all the stars, all the worlds and all their stories are like glistening beads of dew strung along the threads of one enormous, silent web, turning slowly in the night. And you are part of it. Not separate, not apart, but woven softly into the great glowing pattern, resting on your own small shining thread, held gently in place by the same forces that shape the entire cosmos. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. Picture the whole soft web of galaxies, turning quietly in the dark, with you woven gently somewhere within it. Held. Belonging. At rest. And let yourself drift a little deeper, along the quiet threads, toward sleep. Earlier, we found that distant galaxy, the faint smudge of Andromeda, drifting 2.5 million light-years away. Let us return to it now, gently, for it has a quiet secret. Almost every galaxy in the universe is rushing away from us, carried apart by the stretching of space. But Andromeda is different. Andromeda is coming closer. Slowly, patiently, across the great dark gulf, our two galaxies are drifting toward one another, drawn together by the soft and endless pull of gravity. They are approaching at a great speed, and yet the distance between them is so vast that the journey will take billions of years. But one far distant day, in perhaps 4 or 5 billion years, the Milky Way and Andromeda will at last meet. and the two great wheels of stars will slowly begin to merge. It might sound like a catastrophe. Two whole galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars, drifting into one another. But here is the gentle, astonishing truth. When galaxies collide, almost no stars ever touch. Remember how much empty space lies between the stars. They are so far apart, and so small against that emptiness, that the two galaxies will pass through one another like two soft clouds of mist, mingling slowly, without any single star striking another. Instead, over hundreds of millions of years, the stars will simply drift into new and gentle paths, pulled into long, graceful streams by the changing dance of gravity. The two spirals will lose their old shapes, and slowly, over unimaginable spans of time, settle together into a single, larger galaxy. A new home, formed softly from two. And if anyone is there to see it, on some quiet world beneath those changing skies, the view will be slow and beautiful beyond words. Across millions of years, Andromeda will grow from a faint smudge into a vast and glowing spiral, filling more and more of the night, until two great rivers of stars hang together overhead, turning gently around one another in the dark. A sky no human eye will ever see, unfolding across times far longer than our whole history. There is no violence in it, only a slow and silent grace. Two galaxies, drawn together over billions of years, meeting at last, and becoming one. The great wheel of stars simply turning, as it always has, gathering and merging and turning again. You will not be there for it, and neither will anyone you know. It lies further ahead than the mind can truly reach. And yet there is comfort in knowing it will happen. That long after this night, long after everything we know, the galaxies will still be drifting gently together, the stars still turning, the universe still unfolding its slow and patient beauty, with no need for anyone to watch. So let that distant meeting drift softly through your mind. Two galaxies, leaning slowly toward one another across the dark, in no hurry at all, with all the time in the universe to arrive. And you, here in this quiet moment, with all the time you need to rest, and breathe, and drift a little deeper into sleep. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. Let the galaxies turn. Let the stars drift. And let yourself sink gently into the calm, carried softly into the deep. Let us drift now toward something even gentler and stranger than distance. Let us drift toward time itself. We tend to think of time as steady and certain. A single river, flowing at the same calm pace for everyone, everywhere. One universal now, shared by all. But the universe, in its quiet way, tells us this is not quite true. Time is far softer, and far stranger, than it seems. A little over 100 years ago, we learned that time can stretch and bend. It does not flow at the same rate for everyone. It depends, very gently, on how you are moving, and on where you are. The faster something travels, the more slowly its time passes. If you could journey among the stars at nearly the speed of light, and then return home, you would find that for you, only a few quiet years had gone by, while here on Earth, many decades had passed. You would come back younger than the world you left. Not by magic, but by the gentle nature of time itself. And gravity bends time too. The stronger the pull of gravity, the more slowly time flows. Time passes ever so slightly slower at your feet than at your head, because your feet are a little closer to the great mass of the Earth. The difference is far too small to feel. But it is real, and it has been measured, with clocks so precise they can sense the soft bending of time across the height of a single person. Let that drift through your mind, soft and dreamlike. There is no single, universal clock ticking over the cosmos. Each star, each world, each traveler carries their own gentle flow of time, running a little faster here, a little slower there, all of them woven together into the great calm fabric of the universe. This means that even the word now is more tender than we imagine. The light reaching us from distant galaxies is millions of years old. To ask what is happening there now has almost no meaning, for their now and our now can never truly meet. Each of us drifts in our own small pocket of time, sharing the universe not in a single instant, but across the long, slow patience of light. There is something deeply restful in this. Time is not a hard and rushing thing, the same for all, dragging everyone forward at once. It is soft and personal, and yours. Right here, right now, in this quiet place, time is flowing for you exactly as it should, gentle and unhurried, asking nothing of you at all. So you can let go of the days rushing now. Let go of clocks and schedules and the feeling of time slipping away. Out there, among the stars, time bends and stretches and softens, and nowhere does it truly hurry. And here, in your own small and peaceful pocket of the universe, you have all the time you need. To rest. To breathe. To drift, slowly and softly, with no hurry at all, into sleep. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. Let time grow soft around you. There is no rush, anywhere in the cosmos. Only the gentle, bending flow of moments, carrying you quietly, deeper and deeper into the calm. So let us drift a little further now, away from the familiar stars, and toward a gentler, stranger idea. When you look up at the night sky, it feels endless. And in some ways, it may be. But there is a limit to how much of it we can ever see. Not because our eyes are weak, or our telescopes too small, but because of something far more quiet and absolute. The universe has an age. And light has a speed. The universe, as far as we can tell, began about 14 billion years ago. Light, for all its astonishing swiftness, still takes time to travel. And so, in all the time the universe has existed, light has only been able to cross a certain distance to reach us. Anything farther than that, its light simply has not arrived yet. This gives us what astronomers call the observable universe. Imagine a vast sphere with you resting quietly at its center. Inside that sphere is everything whose light has had time to reach us. Every star, every galaxy, every faint and ancient glow. And beyond its edge lies more, surely, but light from those places has not yet had the time to cross the gulf between us. There is something tender in this thought. You are at the center of your own observable universe. Not because you are special in the cosmic sense, but because everywhere is the center of its own sphere of sight. A dreamer on a distant world, drifting towards sleep beneath their own strange stars, would see their own bubble of light, with themselves at its heart. Each of us, wherever we are, sits quietly at the middle of everything we can see. Now here is where it becomes wonderfully strange, so let it wash over you slowly. You might think that if the universe is 14 billion years old, then the edge of what we can see must be 14 billion light-years away. But it is far larger than that. The observable universe stretches roughly 46 billion light-years in every direction. Around 90 billion light-years from one side to the other. How can we see things farther away than light could have traveled? Because space itself has been stretching, gently and endlessly, the whole time that light has been on its way. The light set out long ago, and while it traveled, the very space it moved through was quietly growing, carrying its distant source farther and farther from us. The light still reaches us. But the place it came from is now much more distant than it was when the journey began. You do not need to untangle all of this tonight. Just let the shape of it settle over you. A sphere of light, almost beyond imagining in size, and you, small and calm, resting at its very center. And within that sphere is a number so large it loses all weight. The observable universe holds something like 2 trillion galaxies. Not stars. Galaxies. Each one a vast island of hundreds of billions of stars, like our own Milky Way, turning slowly in the dark. Let that drift past you, without trying to hold it. 2 trillion galaxies. More galaxies out there than there are grains of sand on every beach on Earth. And around so many of those countless stars, surely, other quiet worlds. Other night skies. Perhaps other dreamers, drifting toward sleep, just as you are now. It would be easy to feel small beneath a thought so large. But you might also feel something softer. A sense of belonging. You are not separate from all of this. You are made of it. The atoms in your hands, in your breath, in the slow beat of your heart, were forged inside ancient stars long ago, and scattered across space when those stars died. You are, in the most literal way, a part of the universe that has woken up, and looked around, and wondered. And tonight, you do not need to wonder hard. You only need to rest, and let the wondering happen gently, on its own. Breathe in, softly, and breathe out. Feel yourself at the center of your own vast and silent sphere of light. Everything you could ever see, gathered all around you, holding you in its quiet glow. But even this enormous sphere, this observable universe, has an edge. A faint and final boundary, where the oldest light of all comes to rest. And that ancient edge has a story of its own, a story we will drift toward slowly, as you sink deeper and softer into the dark. There is a quiet kind of magic in a telescope, and it is this. A telescope is not only a way of seeing far. It is a way of seeing back. The farther out we look, the further into the past we are gazing. You already felt a little of this earlier, watching the old light of the stars. But let us follow that thread now, gently, all the way to its end. When astronomers point their great telescopes at a nearby star, they see it as it was a few years ago. When they look at a distant galaxy, they see it as it was millions of years ago. And when they look deeper still, to the very faintest smudges of light that the largest telescopes can gather, they are seeing galaxies as they were billions of years in the past. Young galaxies. Forming galaxies. The universe in its distant childhood. So as we look outward, the universe grows younger before our eyes. Layer beneath layer, age beneath age, like reading the rings of some impossibly ancient tree. And if we keep looking back, further and further, we eventually arrive at a time before there were any galaxies at all. Before the first stars had ever ignited. A long, dark, silent age, when the universe was only drifting clouds of gas in the cold, with no light to be found anywhere. Astronomers call it the cosmic dark ages. A quiet so deep it makes this peaceful night feel almost loud. But if we press on, past even that darkness, we come at last to something extraordinary. The oldest light in all the universe. The very first light that was ever set free. In its earliest days, the universe was not dark at all. It was a brilliant, glowing fog, unimaginably hot, so dense and bright that light could not travel freely. It was trapped, scattered endlessly, like sunlight lost inside a thick mist. For nearly 400,000 years, the whole universe glowed like the inside of a star. And then, slowly, it cooled. The fog began to clear. And in a single, gentle moment that swept across all of existence, the universe became transparent, and light was finally able to fly free. that light has been traveling ever since. For nearly 14 billion years. And it is still arriving, even now, from every direction in the sky. We can detect it, this ancient glow. We call it the cosmic microwave background. It is the afterglow of the universe's first light, stretched and cooled by all those billions of years into a whisper of faint warmth, falling softly on us from everywhere at once. It surrounds you, even now. This room, the sky above it, the space between every star, is gently bathed in that ancient light, the oldest thing you could ever encounter. If your eyes could see it, the entire night sky would glow, evenly, in every direction. A soft, seamless shell of light, almost as old as time itself. Let that thought rest on you like a warm blanket. The first light of the universe is still here. It never left. It simply spread out and softened and cooled until it became a quiet hum in the dark, surrounding you on every side as you drift toward sleep. And this ancient light marks something important. A boundary. Because we cannot see past it. Before that light was set free, the universe was that glowing fog, and no clear image can ever reach us from beyond it. That wall of first light is the farthest thing we can ever observe. The true edge of the visible universe. But it is not an edge in the way a shoreline is an edge. There is no wall out there, no barrier, nothing solid waiting in the dark. It is simply the limit of how far light has been able to carry the story of the universe to us. Beyond it, there is surely more. We just cannot see it. Not yet. Perhaps not ever. And so we find ourselves drawing near to the heart of our question. The edge of the universe may not be a place at all. It may be a horizon. A soft and shifting line drawn not in space, but in time and in light. Rest with that for a while. Let your breathing slow. There is no need to reach the edge tonight. We are only drifting toward it, gently, as you sink deeper into the quiet, and the warm, ancient light of the first morning holds you, softly, on every side. To understand the true edge of the universe, we have to understand one last gentle, astonishing thing. The universe is not standing still. It is growing. For most of history, people imagined the cosmos as fixed and eternal. The stars seem changeless, the heavens calm and permanent. But about 100 years ago, an astronomer named Edwin Hubble noticed something strange in the light of distant galaxies. Almost all of them, in every direction, were drifting away from us. And the farther away a galaxy was, the faster it seemed to be receding. At first, this might sound a little lonely. As if everything in the universe were fleeing from us, leaving us behind. But the truth is far softer and far stranger than that. The galaxies are not racing away through space. It is space itself that is stretching, gently and everywhere, carrying the galaxies along with it. Imagine a soft loaf of bread, slowly rising in a warm kitchen, with raisins scattered through the dough. As the bread rises, every raisin drifts away from every other raisin, not because they are moving through the bread, but because the dough between them is quietly expanding. The galaxies are the raisins, and the whole of space is the rising dough. This means there is no special center to the expansion. From every galaxy, in every corner of the cosmos, it looks the same. Everyone sees the others drifting away. Everyone feels, gently, as though they are standing still while the universe opens outward around them. There is no edge that the universe is expanding into. It is simply growing, within itself, everywhere at once. We can see this stretching written into the light itself. As light travels across the expanding space, its waves are gently pulled longer, shifting toward the red end of the spectrum. Astronomers call it redshift. The more distant the galaxy, the more its light is stretched, and the redder it appears. In this way, the color of ancient light becomes a quiet record of how much the universe has grown while that light was on its way to us. And here is the part that feels almost like a dream. Because space can stretch without limit, and because there is so very much of it between us and the most distant galaxies, the space between us and them can grow faster than light itself can cross it. Those galaxies are not breaking any law of nature. Nothing is moving through space faster than light. It is space itself, the vast distance between us, that is expanding so quickly that the light trying to cross it falls ever further behind. Let that settle softly. There are galaxies out there whose light is traveling toward us right now, with all the speed in the universe, and yet it will never arrive. The space ahead of it is opening faster than it can close the gap. Those distant lights are, in the gentlest possible way, slipping beyond our reach forever. For a long time, astronomers believed this expansion might be slowing down, gradually pulled back by the gravity of all the matter in the cosmos. But near the end of the last century, they discovered something no one expected. The expansion is not slowing. It is speeding up. Something we do not yet understand, something we simply call dark energy, is gently pushing the universe to grow ever faster, stretching the dark between the galaxies wider with every passing moment. You do not need to solve that mystery tonight. No one has. Let it remain what it is, a soft unanswered question, drifting at the edge of human knowledge, while you drift here at the edge of sleep. Just feel the shape of it. A universe quietly growing in every direction. Galaxies carried apart on a rising tide of space. Light stretched gently into red as it crosses the widening dark. And somewhere far out there, a boundary forming, beyond which the light will never reach us. That boundary is the true edge we have been drifting toward. Not a wall. Not a shore. A horizon, drawn by the expansion of space itself. And we will rest beside it, softly, in just a little while, as your breathing slows, and the universe keeps gently growing all around you, carrying its most distant lights away into the deep and quiet dark. So now we come to it, softly. The edge of the universe. And after all our drifting, we find that it is not at all what we first imagined. Think, for a moment, of standing on a calm shore at night, looking out across a dark and quiet sea. There is a line out there where the water seems to meet the sky. The horizon. It looks like an edge, a place where the world ends. But you know, in your heart, that it is nothing of the kind. If you sail toward it, you would never reach it. It would simply keep drifting ahead of you, always the same distance away. The horizon is not a wall. It is only the limit of how far you can see from where you stand. The edge of the universe is a horizon just like this. Not a place. Not a wall. Only the farthest distance from which light has had the time to reach us. And like the horizon at sea, it surrounds you completely, a vast and gentle sphere, with you resting quietly at its center. But the cosmic horizon has a tender quality that the oceans does not. Because space is expanding, and expanding faster all the time, the most distant galaxies are slipping slowly beyond it. Their light, stretched redder and dimmer with every passing age, is fading gradually toward silence. One by one, across spans of time almost too long to imagine, the farthest galaxies are drifting past the edge of what we can ever see, like ships sailing softly over the horizon and out of sight. They are not being destroyed. Nothing harsh is happening to them. They simply move beyond our reach, carried away on the quiet tide of expanding space, until no light they send can ever cross the widening gulf to find us again. There is a kind of gentle melancholy in it, and a kind of peace too. The universe is slowly drawing a soft curtain around each small island of light. This means there are really two edges to hold lightly as you drift. There is the edge of what we can see now, the boundary of all the ancient light that has reached us across the age of the cosmos. And there is the edge of what we could ever see, no matter how long we waited, because some light will never be able to cross the growing distance to reach us at all. Between those two soft boundaries lies everything we will ever know of the universe. A finite island of light and time, adrift in something far larger, and quieter, and more mysterious than we can ever observe. And yet, you are not trapped by this. There is nothing sad in a horizon. It does not close you in. It simply marks the edge of the visible, and leaves the rest to wonder. Sailors have always lived beneath horizons, and still they have felt the whole wide world around them. You, too, can rest beneath your cosmic horizon and feel, softly, the vastness that lies beyond it, even if you will never see it with your eyes. For the edge of the universe, it turns out, is not somewhere far away. It is a gentle boundary drawn around each of us, by light, and time, and the quiet stretching of space. Wherever you go, it goes with you. Whatever distant world a dreamer might rest upon, they would find their own horizon wrapped softly around them, just as yours is wrapped around you now. So let the question soften, here in the dark. Where is the edge of the universe? It is all around you. Always has been. A vast and tender sphere of ancient light, holding you at its center, asking nothing of you at all. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. Let the worries of distance and ending drift away. There is no falling off the edge of the world. There is only this. A quiet horizon, an endless gentle dark, and you, resting peacefully at the center of all you can see. And beyond that horizon? That is the last soft question we will wonder together, before you let go completely, and drift down into sleep. There are two more gentle questions that drift up, on a night like this, once we have found the horizon. And they are perhaps the softest, and strangest, of all. Is there a center to the universe? And does it go on forever? Let us hold the first one lightly. A center. It is natural to imagine that the universe began at a single point, long ago, and exploded outward, like a firework blooming in the dark. And if that were true, there would be a center somewhere, a place where it all began, with everything rushing away from that one spot. But this is not quite how it was. The beginning, the moment we call the Big Bang, did not happen at a place within space. It happened to all of space, everywhere, at the very same time. There was no single point in an empty room where it occurred. There was no empty room. Every part of the universe was there at the beginning, packed close together, and then space itself began to grow, everywhere at once. So there is no center to the expansion. No special place where it started. It began here, where you are resting now, just as much as it began in the most distant galaxy. Every point can rightly say the beginning happened right here. Including this quiet spot, where you lie breathing softly in the dark. Now let us hold the second question even more lightly. Does the universe go on forever? The honest and beautiful answer is that we do not know. But everything we have measured points in a single, gentle direction. As far as we can tell, space is not curved back on itself like the surface of a ball. It appears to be flat and open, and that suggests it may simply continue, on and on, without any boundary at all. Possibly forever. If that is so, then the universe has no edge in space. None. No final wall, no outer shore, no last galaxy hanging at the brink of nothing. Only more. More space, more stars, more galaxies, continuing endlessly in every direction, far beyond the small bright sphere that we are able to see. There is something deeply restful in this, if you let it settle. You have been wondering where the edge of the universe is. And the quiet answer may be that there is no edge at all. Not because the universe stops somewhere you cannot reach, but because it may never stop. The only true edge is the horizon of your seeing. Beyond it, the universe simply continues, calm and boundless, whether or not anyone is there to watch. So you need not fear the edge of the world. There is nowhere to fall. There is no brink, no drop, no ending in the dark. There is only more gentle universe, in every direction, holding you softly in the middle of an immensity with no walls. Let your body grow heavier now. Let the idea of edges and endings dissolve. You are not near any boundary. You are resting in the middle of something that may have no boundary at all. And that is a safe and quiet place to be. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. There is no edge to fear. Only an endless, gentle dark, stretching softly in every direction, with no need for an ending, and no need for you to understand it. Just to rest within it, as it cradles you, on, without end. And so we arrive, at last, at the softest question of all. The one that waits just past the horizon. What lies beyond the edge of everything we can see? The truth is simple, and strangely freeing. We do not know. We cannot know, not by looking, not ever. The horizon hides whatever lies past it, the way the curve of the sea hides distant ships. But while our eyes can go no further, our gentle wandering still can. So let us drift past the edge together, softly, in thought alone. Almost everything we understand suggests that the universe does not end at our horizon. Our visible sphere is not the whole of creation. It is only the small, bright part we happen to be able to see, like the pool of light beneath a single lamp on an endless dark plain. Beyond it, the universe almost certainly continues, with more galaxies, more quiet worlds, more slow and turning light, far past anything we will ever observe. And if space truly is infinite, as it may well be, then something wonderful and dizzying follows. Out there, beyond the edge of sight, there would be not just more universe, but an endless amount of it. Endless galaxies. Endless stars. And with endless space to fill, the same patterns of matter, arranged by chance in countless combinations, might eventually repeat. Hold this one very lightly, as a dream and not a fact. In an infinite universe, somewhere unthinkably far beyond our horizon, there might be another world much like this one. Another quiet room. Another soft bed. Another dreamer, drifting toward sleep, beneath their own scattering of stars. Not a ghost, not a copy you could ever meet, but a faint and beautiful possibility, woven into the sheer endlessness of things. We will never see them. The distance is far too great, and the horizon will never lift. But there is a quiet comfort in the thought, all the same, that you may not be as alone in the dark as the night sometimes feels. That the universe, in its vastness, may be gentle enough to hold more than one of almost everything. More than one Earth. More than one evening. More than one of you, resting in the quiet. Of course, beyond the horizon may lie things stranger than repetition, too. Regions where the universe is older or colder or unfolds by slightly different rules. We simply cannot say. The space past the edge of seeing is the one place where science grows quiet, and only wonder remains. And there is no shame in that quiet. It is one of the most peaceful places the mind can rest, here at the boundary of the known, gazing softly into all that we may never understand. For not every question is meant to be answered. Some are meant only to be held, gently, the way you might hold a smooth stone in your palm in the dark, feeling its weight without needing to see it. What lies beyond the edge of the universe is a question like that. You can carry it with you into sleep, unanswered and unhurried, and it will ask nothing more of you than your wonder. So let the edge of the universe become a soft and open door, rather than a wall. On this side of it, all the light we know, the galaxies and stars, the long ancient glow, and you, resting in the center of it all. And on the far side, an endless gentle mystery, asking only to be wondered at, as you drift slowly down toward sleep. Breathe in, softly, and breathe out. Let the question grow quiet. Let the wondering grow soft. There is nothing left to reach for now. Only the deep, calm dark, and the endless universe beyond the edge of sight, holding you gently, as you begin, at last, to let go. Before we let go entirely, let us drift through one last soft idea. The strangest, and the most dreamlike of them all. The thought that our universe might not be the only one. Hold this gently. It is not proven. It may never be. It lives in that quiet country at the edge of science, where careful thinking and pure wonder begin to blur together. But it is a beautiful place to rest your mind, here at the threshold of sleep. Many scientists who study the universe's beginning believe that the great stretching of space in its first moments, a sudden, immense expansion, may never have fully stopped. In some distant regions, far beyond our horizon, space may still be expanding with that same furious early speed. And within that endlessly stretching space, every now and then, a small part settles down and calms, and becomes a universe of its own. A quiet bubble, like ours, where galaxies can form, and stars can shine, and perhaps someone can lie beneath them and wonder. If this is true, then our entire universe, all 2 trillion galaxies of it, everything we could ever see, would be just one bubble among countless others. One soft pocket of calm, drifting in a far greater sea of restless space. And other bubbles would be drifting there too. Other universes. Some perhaps a little like ours. Others stranger than we could ever picture. For in some of those other universes, the deepest rules might be different. Gravity a little stronger, or gentler. Light a different speed. Particles that never form here, and forces we have never felt. Whole universes where stars never ignite, and others where they blaze in ways we have no words for. An endless variety of worlds, each following its own quiet laws, each unaware of all the rest. We could never visit them. We could never see them, or send so much as a single ray of light across the gulf between. Each bubble is sealed within itself, alone in the vastness, just as ours is. The other universes, if they exist at all, lie not merely beyond our horizon, but beyond even the idea of distance as we know it. And yet, there is something wonderfully peaceful in imagining them. Our universe, so impossibly large to us, becoming just one gentle light among an endless field of others. All those countless worlds, glimmering quietly in a darkness we will never cross. It makes our own cosmos feel less like everything, and more like a single warm room in a house far larger than we can imagine. But you do not have to believe any of it tonight. That is the gift of these ideas. They ask for nothing. They are not tasks to complete or problems to solve. They are simply soft shapes to let drift across the quiet of your mind as you sink deeper toward sleep, Maybe there are countless universes. Maybe there is only this one, vast and enough. Either way, you are here, resting safely within it, and that is all that you need to know. So let the idea dissolve now, like mist at the edge of a dream. Let the other universes, real or imagined, fade softly into the dark. You do not need to hold any of them. You only need to breathe, and rest, and let yourself grow heavier, and calmer, and more still. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. All those endless worlds, drifting quietly somewhere far beyond knowing. And here, in this one, in this single quiet moment, only you, and the soft dark, and the gentle pull of sleep, drawing you down at last. We have wandered through the universe as it is now, bright with stars and turning galaxies. Let us drift, one last time, toward the far, far future. Toward the gentle, quiet way that all of it may one day come to rest. The universe is still young, in its own slow reckoning. The stars are shining. New ones are still being born, in the soft clouds between the old. But this will not last forever. Slowly, across spans of time almost beyond meaning, the universe is winding gently down. The clouds of gas that make new stars are not endless. Across hundreds of billions of years, they will gradually be used up. Fewer and fewer new stars will form. And one by one, across unimaginable ages, the existing stars will burn through their fuel and softly fade into white dwarfs, and dim embers, and cold and silent cinders, drifting in the dark. There will come a time, far beyond the death of our own sun, when the last star in the universe gives its final light, and quietly goes out. And after that, the cosmos will drift on in darkness. No suns. No daylight on any world. Only the faint glow of cooling embers, growing dimmer through the endless night, and the slow turning of galaxies that no longer shine. Even the black holes will not last. Across spans of time so vast that every number loses meaning, even they will slowly fade, releasing their energy back into space, breath by gentle breath, until at last they too quietly disappear. And the universe will become what it has perhaps always been drifting toward. A vast, cold, and perfectly peaceful stillness. Endless space, growing ever wider, ever emptier, ever quieter, settling at last into a deep and final calm. It might sound lonely, this far ending. But try to feel it instead as a kind of rest. Not a violent end, but a slow and gentle settling. The universe, after all its blazing and turning and creating, finally growing still. Like a great fire that has given its warmth all through a long, long night, sinking softly at last into glowing embers, and then into quiet ash, and then into peaceful dark. And all of it, every star and world and living thing, every story that was ever told, will have been a brief and beautiful warmth, glowing for a little while against that endless calm. Including this night. Including you. A small, soft light, shining gently in the vast dark, for just a little while. There is nothing to fear in this. It lies further ahead than the mind can hold, in a future so distant it makes even the death of stars seem near. And it asks nothing of you tonight. It only whispers, softly, that all things come to rest in the end. That stillness is not something to dread, but the deep and natural calm toward which the whole universe is gently drifting. And so, perhaps, you can let yourself drift there too. Toward stillness. Toward quiet. Toward rest. Not an ending, but a settling. The same soft calm that waits at the end of all things, waiting also, gently, for you, here at the end of this long day. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. Let everything grow still. let the stars fade softly in your mind. Let the universe settle into its deep and peaceful calm. And let yourself settle too, gently, completely, into the quiet and into sleep. And now there is nothing left to understand. Nowhere left to travel. You can simply rest. We have drifted a long way together, you and I, out past the familiar stars, across the soft band of the Milky Way, through the ancient light of distant galaxies and the first faint glow of the early universe. We found the horizon and saw that it was not a wall, but a gentle edge of seeing. And beyond it, we let ourselves wonder at an endless, quiet universe that asks nothing of us at all. But you do not need to hold any of it now. Let the facts grow soft. Let the numbers fade. Let the galaxies drift away into the dark, like lights on distant water, growing dimmer and dimmer and dimmer still. There is only this now. Your slow breath. The gentle weight of your body. The warm and quiet dark, wrapped softly all around you. Let your shoulders sink a little deeper. Let your hands grow heavier. Feel how your whole body has settled, calm and still, held safely at the center of everything you can see. You are exactly where you belong. A small and peaceful part of an immense and gentle universe. Made of the same ancient light. Resting beneath the same endless sky. Carried softly through the dark, on nothing but your own slow breathing. There is nothing to do. Nothing to reach. Nothing to fear at the edge of anything. Only rest. Only stillness. Only the quiet drifting down into sleep. Breathe in, slowly, and let it go. With each breath now, you sink a little deeper. A little softer. A little further from the day, and closer to the warm dark of sleep. The stars are fading gently above you. The universe grows quiet. And there is no edge here. No ending. Only the soft and endless calm, holding you, as you let yourself drift down, down, into the deep and gentle dark. Rest now. Sleep now. And let the quiet universe keep turning, slowly and softly, all around you, while you sleep. This has been Hypnos Cosmos. Rest well, and drift among the stars again, tomorrow night.